Welcome to another episode of Claim Your Inheritance. This is Nazir Devar Emil Oz Yasharal. I am your host for this evening. I will be joined by my co-host, Amaziah Howard. I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, the wonderful Son, and the Holy Spirit. You know the names. So now, tonight we're talking about how should Israelites deal with slavery. You know, we're going to touch on some other topics like the fire and ice theory by Brian Mullen. He's a flat earther. He's a traditionally trained scientist, and you know, he has a unique perspective on this because he's brand new to the flat earth theory. So he's about four or 5 months into the flat earth theory, and he's coming up with unique perspectives on situations. You know what I'm saying? He's studying it and seeing all the other information about it and coming up with and applying it to his traditionally scientific, you know what I'm saying, trained mind. And he's coming up with, you know, models and explanations for certain things. I think I might start off with that this evening.
And I'm going to go over a couple more things that I didn't talk about in part one, and also start off with the Go Fast rocket, which was brought up a lot of debate in the first part, and I have to admit that I did not know about yo-yo spin devices. I spent some time looking into them, and they're pretty awesome what they do. I didn't know such things existed, and so according to the Go Fast team and some other videos, I found that apparently the yo-yo device went off at the height of the launch, or the maximum height of the launch, it appears, and that's what stopped the rocket from spinning. And you can actually see it. It looks like the yo-yo device at about 3 minutes and 46 seconds. The third camera. There's 3 cameras throughout the flight. They show, you know, the recording of each camera over the whole video, and I want to focus on the first and last cameras. The second one is a lot like the first. That also brings up the same question: why don't they ever have a camera pointing up? And we have 3 different cameras all taking video from different perspectives, but never one pointing up. You know, doesn't anybody ever want to look out into space? But I don't know. So anyway, going to the rocket. Now, the rocket had 2 stages, as I mentioned before, and you can see in the video.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a question I had, which made me say, why in the world would you not have a camera looking up? Then you'll know what stopped the rocket. You know what I'm saying? You'll see it clear as day. So, you know what I'm saying? With the camera's position like they were, made me think that a doggone spaceship hit a spaceship or something. But everybody's assuming that it's the dome. I don't know if the rocket even flew high enough to hit the dome, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it's the dome because that makes sense. But if it would have hit like a spaceship or something, the spaceship might have caught it or whatever. I don't know what's going on here.
Hey,
yeah.
Before you do that, send me the YouTube link because I'm not finding it nowhere.
This video?
Oh yeah, I found it just now.
Okay.
I got it.
And each one of these stages has a mass, right? And the mass of the bottom stage can be assumed to be greater than the mass of the nose. I'm going to call the bottom the engine and the nose. So mass engine greater than mass nose, because this is where the engine is. You don't want a top-heavy rocket, so we can definitely assume this. I think it's safe to say that. So what happens at about 1 minute and 6 seconds on the first camera is, you know, the rocket flies up, yo-yo device goes off, you can hear it, and the spinning stops, and then it's just kind of sitting there as it's reached its max height, and it's going to start falling back to Earth. And so the stages separate, Okay, you hear the noise and you see the ice that's built up on the outside of the rocket break off. Okay? So all that ice kind of breaks off as the two stages separate. And so you would think that when the stages separate, they're forced apart. And I've looked into these devices or mechanicisms, whatever you want to call it, that separate the rockets, and some of them create a force between the two stages to push them apart. Okay, but it doesn't look like that happens at 1 minute and 6 seconds. It looks like they start to separate, and then there's the initial movement away from each other, and then you notice that the bottom stage, or the engine part of the rocket, starts to fall. The rate of its fall starts to increase after the initial separation. If you watch that around 1 minute and 6 seconds, watch that a few times. But then I said, okay, that's kind of a problem, that this piece is falling faster than this piece, because in a vacuum, or in the thermosphere where this is supposed to be, there should be hardly any matter. So these two objects should fall at the same rate, or they should accelerate towards Earth at the same rate. On Balls Out Physics episode 2 and 3, I can't remember which one at the moment, but I linked a video to I think it was called Human Universe, a BBC series where Professor Brian Cox came from the UK, the United States, to do an experiment with a bowling ball and some feathers in NASA's vacuum chamber at the Glenn Research Center, and they show how in a vacuum both objects fall or accelerate towards Earth at the same rate. So the same thing should happen here. Both of these objects should accelerate down at the same rate, unless they're in a liquid, because this one would be more massive, so it would fall faster, or unless they were forced apart by the stage separation. That would create a force and an acceleration, or an increased acceleration on the bottom stage. But if you go to about 3 minutes and 46 seconds, where you see the yo-yo device go off, and then wait another 10 seconds to about 10:55 or 3:55 to 3:56, you hear the stage separation, and you see the ice fly off, and you can also see the horizon from the way the camera's orientated. And I've watched this over and over again, and I do not see any acceleration from the separation. So I do not see this piece accelerating up. And to have a force, you have to have an acceleration, because F equals ma. It does not appear like there is a force pushing these two pieces apart. And then if you watch the video throughout, you can see every now and then the nose camera catches the engine, and it's significantly farther down, or it's dropped significantly farther than this nose piece is. This nose piece, which we think it would be very light, just kind of almost seems like it's floating, like there's buoyant forces acting on it. And this was really the premise of what I was talking about in the first episode. I didn't get into the fact that the acceleration of the engine appears to be greater than the acceleration of the nose. That's definitely true, whether it's created by this force or they're in a liquid. And because this is more massive, a liquid or a gas, because this piece is more massive, it's falling faster than this piece is, because buoyancy is having a greater effect, or buoyant forces are having a greater effect on the nose, if you want to look at it that way. So, to me, it does not seem like there is a force in a stage separation. So, I think this is falling faster because it's in a liquid. And then another thing, there's ice crystals all over the outside of the rocket. Now, it gets cold as you go up, but in the thermosphere at 117 kilometers, bring back this chart that you might be getting tired of seeing, and go fast is here, temperature 200 degrees Celsius. Now, as we're told, in the thermosphere, you should see a cold temperature, so I guess the ice crystals could stay there. But still, listen to the sounds. It seems like there's some kind of liquid up there. It really does. I think so, but you be the judge. So, going back to fire and ice theory, I made a couple changes. I was assuming that this thermo layer was very hot. What if it's not? What if it's actually cold? And the sun is actually surrounded by cold, not hot. And infinite potential is what surrounds the sun. And this is why everything radiates up to that cold area that surrounds us, and also to the moon as well. I've still found that the moon is, the moonlight does appear to cool the Earth more than the surrounding shaded areas. I've been doing experiments with that, which I'll get into in later videos. But yeah, this, how do we know that this isn't ice? How do we know that it's not really cold up there? And we know that the temperatures are supposed to, the thermometer should show a cold temperature. So is what we're told really what's happening? Is it really a thermo layer? I don't know. Can we get rid of this altogether? And so it would be fire, ice.
I want to pause right there.
With the moon, and then the layer.
I want to reiterate what he was saying right there, because remember how I was telling, I think I was telling LaRon about how the thermosphere is over 3,000 degrees Celsius.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, for one, how the hell are they going to measure that? Two, y'all gave us a number that made it impossible for any of your satellites and spaceships to survive through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like, it kind of goes along with what I was saying about how the sun has to be sitting in water, or as he's saying here, ice. You know what I mean? But some type of solid substance that's made of hydrogen in order to create what we see as the sun, as well as, of course, we see volcanoes and stuff like that.
Because it got to keep drawing fuel.
Right. And where the hell is the hydrogen in a vacuum? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If space is a vacuum, where the hell did the hydrogen come from?
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? But go ahead.
Okay. That makes perfect sense.
Around us. Well, since I don't know what to trust anymore, I've gone back to this a lot, especially recently. I was born into a Catholic family, and this is actually my mother's Bible, but I keep going back to this that I, a year and a half ago, made fun of to my roommate, and then had to put my foot in my mouth because, I don't know, this could actually be a depiction of our Earth or something similar to it. But as you can see, there are waters above the firmament in this picture, and then it has firmament of the sky, which might allude to some type of liquid up here, maybe. But of course, this is an illustration. So I'm using this as my basis for now, because I've been pulled back to Christianity in so many different ways in the past few months. Really, after Balzo Physics episode 4, all kinds of things started happening. And I'll be honest, I was a bit opposed to it until about the beginning of this year. Doors started opening, so to say. And what I want to point out is when I first started thinking about the moon and sun relationship after Balzo Physics episode 4, I'll never forget this. I was home visiting my family, and I was taking my dog for a walk, and I started thinking moon and sun, moon and sun. I started thinking moon and sun, and then all of a sudden it hit me, moon, mom, and sun, and I immediately thought the Virgin, potential Mother Mary. I didn't want to say that in the last episode because I'm not saying that the moon is actually Mother Mary, but it's kind of an echo, as the term I used in Givers and Receivers, if you saw that. And then the son, of course, being the son of the mother. And that was the point of the song at the end of the last episode as well, or the last part. And so the idea is that this is a mom and son relationship, not to be confused with Mary and Jesus. But it's interesting to think that potential, the sun is kinetic energy, obviously, and then the moon or ice around it would be the potential, infinite potential, and the expression of that potential is the sun. And I see a symbolic relationship or an echo, mimic, with the way God came into our world through a virgin mother and born as a son. Could be coincidental, but I don't know. It's not far-fetched for me to think that God would come into our world mimicking God's creation, or how part of it works. So that was the first thing I thought, but I was hesitant to say that, or one of the first things I thought, and then the day I realized that, the corresponding mother-son moments that happened after that were just mind-blowing to me, between myself and other people around me. Right after I realized that, a very good friend of mine happened to call me, and I was in the middle of realizing this, fighting with my dog, and I was just like, okay, I'll call him back. And he left me a voicemail, which he never does. And so I got back to the house, started to listen to the voicemail, and what had happened was he couldn't hang up his phone for some reason, so he just shoved it in his pocket. And he happened to be riding with his mother in a car. I know his mother well, and I proceeded to hear a conversation between he and his mother. I said, "Oh, weird, I'm not listening to this," and I hung up. But there was a 4-minute message of mom and son left on my phone right after I started thinking about all this. So could be a coincidence, but then shortly after that, there was another incident with my grandmother and her son, my uncle, who happened to be there. And I'm not going to get into that one because it's too personal, or too family personal. But it was just amazing how that came to be. And so I didn't want to, throw that out there because it's all speculation or just coincidences, what people would say. But I don't really believe in coincidences anymore. So I think there's something to it. That's my theory, though. And one more thing I want to point out is I did say H2O, water or something could be up here in the last episode. Now, I said divine water because, if a rocket hit water as it exists on Earth at that velocity, it would be destroyed, too. I mean, water is very dense. But I said divine water, but could it also be ether or also spelled aether? Ether, I've seen. Plasma, maybe, but that would be a superheated gas, so it would be very hot. But there's other ideas for what is actually up there, if there's liquid up here, which I think the Go Fast rocket shows us. And then there's also the lunar wave, which Crow 777 filmed. So ideas, throwing them out there. I'm really starting to see connections between spirituality and science and all this, though. And so I wanted to get that out there. So, until next time, peace.
Right. I can understand his confusion since he was, traditionally trained. You know what I'm saying? A true nerd. He's nerdier than me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, hold it down for a second. We're upstairs, and I got some stuff to
All right, no
reiterate about that when I get right back.
Okay. Okay, so y'all saw that that's the fire and ice theory. He theorizes that as the sun gives off energy and the earth absorbs the energy, okay, and then the moon draws the energy from the earth, and this is causing a superconductor in their paths, in the sun, in the path of the sun and moon around the top of the earth. So I know you don't know what a superconductor is, but just look it up, Google it, as young Pharaoh would say. Okay, so now before he gets into his explanation and other questions about that theory, I'm gonna go ahead and cue the topic for the night, the video for the topic for the night, and see what we can see about that, because every time I try to talk about what should we do about slavery, I guess since no one has answers for that question, that they don't want to interact with the program, but it's a necessary to have that discussion, because our freedom is based solely on our actions, and not on just us knowing that God exists. You have to do
I'm
things.
Tim Gleason from the Carolina Hurricanes. Being a professional hockey player requires high performance vision. So when I decided to have laser vision correction, I wanted an all-star. My doctor recommended.
In order to gain freedom of any type, you have to perform things. You have to do things. You can't just sit around and wait. You know what I'm saying? For Hamashiach to land on Earth and destroy everything. He's going to utilize us. And this video, episode 7 of Claim Their Heritage, clearly shows you that he's going to utilize Israel for this final kingdom that is going to be established on Earth, reigned by Israelites. So I'm going to go ahead and start this up until he gets back with his questions. Okay, I was just getting a little bit of glad tidings from Maha. Yes, good lessons. So I asked a question today. I asked over 173 people the exact same question, and I got one answer. Some guy talking shit to me about something. And I wasn't even really paying attention to what the fuck he was talking about. But all I asked was, where is ex-King Solomon's gold, and why don't you have it? The glad tidings from Maha. That's just one simple question. Where is ex-King Solomon's gold, and why don't you have it? I asked about 200 people now. Okay, one smart guy answered the question, and he said it's in Britain. Okay, it says right here, it's in England and will be returned, thus saith Yah. Okay, so that was a smart answer. So I asked him for scripts on that, and he provided scripts and proved everything that came out of his mouth. So now, what I want to do in this program is start off by showing you where the gold is. I thought that would be interesting since only one person had an idea of where it's at, but it was not wholly accurate. Okay, before we get into that program, we're gonna have a brief discussion about that theory that we just saw, so that that doesn't get old in your mind and you forget what you just witnessed. Go ahead, Doc.
I was gonna like kind of clarify where I was coming from too, because like okay, when I said like when I was talking about the sun sitting in water, right?
Mhm.
But like I've always believed that outer space was water. You know what I'm saying? Well, that comes from, you know what I'm saying, the waters from the waters.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And then learning about the vacuum and stuff like that in school, you know what I'm saying, it never really like it was like a good imaginary thing. You know what I mean? But I've always thought about it as water. So earlier when I was talking about how I was talking about the sun sitting in water, it was only recently when actually just when we started looking up the definition of firmament and seeing that it was something solid. You know what I mean? Because I saw the firmament as like the sky from basically like from the air we breathe reaching up into the sky. You know what I'm saying? Because um, the water, I mean, above the oceans is the air we breathe. So that's how I saw that, and to wherever it reaches to. But of course, reading through the scriptures, you see that it is something solid, and the sun, the moon, the stars are all connected to it. So,
Mm. Okay, that's all you wanted to add to it?
yeah, I'm gonna have to. I didn't catch everything he was saying, because you know I had the kids and everything like that down here. But they're in the bed now. If you want to kind of like talk about it and give me a better idea, because I heard how he was talking about the transference of energy and things of that nature from the sun to the earth, to the earth to the moon.
Yeah, you got to take your time and take a look at that Joker, man. You know what I'm saying? And just watch it a couple times, and then he references other videos to kind of support what he is speculating on. So these speculations are just to get you to think and come up with the actual way it is. You know what I'm saying? So
Uh,
it just takes time. You know what I mean? So I just like to encourage people to do that type of thing, because it's not the science that is bad. It's the corruption of the minds of the people who take the information and hide it from you, so that you won't know what's going on. And then, you know what I mean, take a, they get your support and say that, oh man, I need to be in this satanic system, because look at all the wonderful technologies they have, and it's just so comfortable here. So they have you fooled thinking that everything is peaches and cream here, when they are really just utilizing your work ethic to fund their wars and calamity and chaos that they create everywhere. But they're doing it by the design of the Father to create a new world order that you don't need to get in the way of, and then he's going to utilize Israel to correct these things, because we're going to be the rulers of the new world order. But for now, our heritage is being hidden from the public, so that the wrong people don't just take it upon themselves to just come try to wipe us out before we even know anything. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Majority of us don't even know who we are yet.
Right, and that's why he says till the fullness of the Gentiles come in.
Exactly. And then it's going to be a great awakening. Okay, so this video explains this in detail, and I didn't want to recreate the video because it's just, you know what I'm saying, this information was so fresh on my mind that it's kind of presented almost um kind of clear, you know what I'm saying? So and kind of a little organized a little bit. So I just decided to play it straight through, and then we just talk about it whenever we want to. You just interrupt anytime you want. Excuse me for a second, like it's just kind of a little bit slow. Second there. Second there. Okay, so I asked, where is ex-King Solomon's gold, and why don't you have it? I got one answer from a smart guy. He said, it's in England and will be returned, thus saith Yah. His name is Micaiah ben Israel. So he's been all over the world. He's been to Israel. He's been to Telluride, to the temple. You know, and I know he's a smart guy. So, you know, he's done a couple of documentaries about Telluride, and he keeps the commandments and all that good stuff. I don't know if he's Messianic or OT or not. I really don't care. But he answered. I asked him for scripts. He proved it with the scripts. So now, what I want to do is show more precisely, or kind of expand on what his answer. Okay. Since he was the only one that had a slight idea, and he's traveled all over the world, which proves you don't have to travel everywhere on earth in order to be intelligent, because that's what the internet is designed to do. It's designed to allow you to travel everywhere on earth, research and cross-reference and verify and peer review every bit of everything that's going on around the world. I can look at any newspaper on earth. I can read it word for word. I can look at any business in any country on earth. I mean, there's just, you know, the internet is just designed to do these things. Okay, so let me show where Solomon's resources are. Okay, so it's in.
Hey, pause right quick.
Lateral Minefield Breakthrough Success.
Hey, when did you actually originally post that up?
When did I do this video?
Like the picture itself of ex-King Solomon's gold under your page.
That same day that I did this video right here.
Yeah, I think that's around the time you first got to talking, because I remember we had moved apartments in August.
August.
And, yeah, and see, we didn't have internet. We had internet, but we didn't have our own internet part before. And this one, we got set up internet. So I think, yeah, I think that was about the time me and you first started talking.
Mm-hmm. That's all you had on that?
Yeah, I want to know when exactly you first had posted that up.
August.
Are you still in contact with that guy?
I mean, he's on my friends list. We don't never talk because he's a world minister. I mean, he goes everywhere and does his ministry. So we don't really talk much.
Just try to get him on the show.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. He'll probably do it tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, hit him up. Let's see.
Okay, appreciate that.
That's agreement. Oh no, it's actually in found in Ferdinand Marcos' will. I'm gonna have to pull his will up. Let's see here. Make sure it's not in this one.
Can't hear nothing, Knock.
That's because I ain't saying that right now. I'm looking for the countries that the gold is in.
Okay, I thought you was playing the video. Still.
Yeah, this is the video, but I don't want to skip too much because I don't know where the main points are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Uh-oh.
And just to say this right quick, man. I know it's of course I was saying about the CDL thing earlier, and that's gonna be big, man, because I'll be able to have not just I have more money for my family as well as be able to put some more money into this ministry.
That's right. Right.
Yeah. And trying to get back on the street, man. Really. Of course, I'm in a new city now.
Hey, Mr.
Okay, not in there.
What'd you say?
Find it
So
for
it's
you.
not in there, so
Yeah.
let's skip again because got to get to the countries where the countries where the gold is. Here we go.
See if I can make it bigger for you. They are located in these countries. Okay, the Philippines, New York, California. Let's say the Philippines, USA, Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, Singapore, Switzerland, Argentina, Brazil, Germany, Europe, Asian countries, plural, Australia, Malaysia, Indonesia, United Kingdom, and others which, however, may be supported by the records papers instrument itself on file. Now, what does that tell you? Those countries sound real familiar, don't they? Those are the new trade agreement that Obama recently signed. Okay, I forget the name of it, PP or something like that. TPP trade deal. Okay, now the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Let's read this. Okay. Just to be prepared. Have your nerd hat on and stop playing with yourself. Keep your hands clean. Let's share the right screen here. Okay. Now, all those countries that I just named are sitting right here in this photo. Who's in the middle? That would be Satan. Okay, you got it? That's Satan right here. His name means lightning fall from heaven. Jesus Christ said, I have seen Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
Hey, pause right quick, Cop.
He means.
I know when I read about when I was doing my research on Trans-Pacific Partnership, it talked about 12 countries that were involved. But I want to point out there, if you could go back a few seconds so we can see the whole picture.
Okay.
Just want to clarify before okay, play it.
All those countries that I just named.
As soon as the whole picture pops up, just pause it.
Okay.
Are sitting right here in this photo. Who's in the middle?
All right, there. You got 10 so-called kings right there. You notice that?
Yep. That's right. And then
Now,
the countries I read, those they're also the BRICS is with that. So the first trade agreement that precedes the TPP is recent, and then before that was like the NAFTA or something else. I forget the other name of the trade agreement before that, but it's the BRICS. It's the trade agreement between the BRICS nations, United States, Germany, Russia, all the big boys, you know what I'm saying, Europe and stuff like that. So they added these guys because the gold is also Israel's gold, Israel's treasure. It's not just gold, but I just say gold just to keep it simple. But Israel's treasure is also located in these nations as well. And that's why they put this trade agreement together to utilize our fortune.
I was gonna say it was the North American Free Trade Agreement.
That's it. NAFTA. Something else you want to talk about?
Give me 1 second.
All right.
That would be Satan. Okay, you got it? That's Satan right here. His name means lightning fall from heaven. Jesus Christ said, I have seen Satan as lightning fall from heaven. And that is what his name means. He had a dream that he was Nebuchadnezzar. And that's who he is. Okay, these are the flags. America, Great Britain, whatever that is, whatever that is, whatever that is, whatever that is, Great Britain. I don't know these flags. Okay, so I'm going to have to read what they are. Okay, but these are the countries that I just named. Okay, those are the leaders of the countries. I apologize. Those are the leaders of the countries. So, you know, the Bible prophesies all this. That's great. Great news. I'm glad it does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 world leaders. That's great. All right. Now you're getting the picture a little bit here. The Trans-Pacific Partnership is a proposed trade agreement between several Pacific Rim countries concerning a variety of matters of economic policy. Economic policy. That is the focus. Among other things, the TPP seeks to lower trade barriers such as tariffs, which are taxes on imports and exports, establish a common framework for intellectual property, enforce standards for labor law and environmental law. Okay. So there are standards in place for labor law and environmental law, you know, the environmental protection and labor abuses to prevent those, but they're not being enforced well. So that's an element of this agreement, and establish an investor state dispute settlement mechanism. Okay, an investor state dispute settlement. What is that? An investor state dispute settlement is an instrument of public international law that grants an investor the right to use dispute settlement proceedings against a foreign government. Provisions for ISDS are contained in a number of bilateral investment treaties and certain international trade treaties, such as the North American Free Trade Agreement, and in international investment agreements, such as the Energy Charter Treaty. If an investor from one country, the home state, invests in another country, the host state, both of which have agreed to ISDS, and the host state violates the rights granted to the investor under public international law, then that investor may bring the matter before an arbitral tribunal. Okay, so now that is to help us redress, or Satan doesn't know this, but this will help Israel redress ancient oppression. Okay, now the stated goal of the agreement is to enhance trade and investment among the TPP partner countries, to promote innovation, economic growth, and development, and to support the creation and retention of jobs. TPP is considered by the United States government as the companion agreement. The TTIP, the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, a broadly similar agreement between the United States and the European Union. Okay, so, you know, they already had that in place. So it's supposed to help it out by adding, well, they didn't add more countries to the original agreement. They just made up another agreement with different countries and made it similar. Okay, so now I want you to see the countries here. Okay. Okay. Expansion of the Trans-Pacific Strategic Economic Partnership Agreement, which was signed by Brunei, Chile, Singapore, and New Zealand in 2006. Beginning in 2008, additional countries joined for a broader agreement. Australia, Canada, Japan, Malaysia, Mexico, Peru, and United States and Vietnam, bringing the total number of participating countries to 12. Okay. Now that you know this situation, I'm trying to find the countries right here. Contents, implications, intellectual property, I'm trying to ratification by the United States, criticism. Okay, criticism, negotiation, secrecy. Okay. Well, in any case, here we go. We got the countries, and I just spoke on these countries in the other communication. So, like I said, they the countries where the gold is hidden in accounts and it can't be touched right at the moment because they don't have the authority to use it by the Father, lest they die. So they're attempting to do something in order to get control of the resources, get control of the resources, so that they can use them. Okay, so that includes the BRICS, which I just read. BRICS is the acronym. BRICS is the acronym for an association of 5 major emerging national economies: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Okay, so Germany has recently joined, and the United States has recently joined the BRICS. Okay, so that's what they're doing. All these different countries are coming together. Okay, this is hilarious. The term BRIC was coined in 2001 by the chairman of Goldman Sachs Asset Management, Jim O'Neill, in his publication, Building Better Global Economic BRICS. The foreign ministers of the initial 4 BRIC states, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, met in New York City in September 2006 at the margins of the general debate of the UN General Assembly, beginning a series of high-level meetings. A full-scale diplomatic meeting was held in Ekaterinburg, Russia, on June 16, 2009. Okay, now, the reason this is so hilarious is because Goldman Sachs is the #1 banking oppressor on the face of the planet, and they're owned by Jewisher communist Zionists who imagine that they are Israelites and God's chosen people, thus making them above all the peoples of the earth. And I really don't think that they know any different. I really think they really do believe that, because they've inherited lies all their life. So they have no reason to believe otherwise. They don't realize that they're the synagogue of Satan because the power structure made it to where they would not accept the New Testament, which calls them the synagogue of Satan.
Hey, pause right quick.
Okay, so
Okay, so these Goldman Sachs, they're who now?
Goldman Sachs. It was created by a Jewisher guy way back in the day before. I think it was right during the time of the Reconstruction of the 1928 was the Great Depression. So one of the whenever they convinced the countries to give all their gold to one central bank, the author of that book had got so rich from that book that convinced the world powers to give all their precious metals to one central bank, that he gave a large portion of the money, like something like $8 billion or something like that at that time, which is something like 200 billion or something today. So he gave him a vast sum of money back then, and he took that money and started a huge bank. And Goldman Sachs became the insurer for the World Bank that received the precious metal that they had convinced them to give up. So he was automatically born corrupt, and grew up corrupt and learned all corruption. So ever since then, they have done nothing but corrupt practices from then on, because banks,
I was gonna say, like, when you said you don't think they know that they're not the Israelites. I know, like, some of the real young ones don't, but like, what was it? All of them partake in those ancient Babylonian rituals and practices. You know what I'm saying? For the most part.
When you find somebody like Harry Rosenberg, right, that's kind of getting up in power, and the big boys, it seemed to me like they really believe that oral law, like he said 20 times, all the oral tradition was passed down from generation to generation from Moses.
Are you talking about when he was interviewing with Polite?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, and yeah, just like I was saying though, like those rituals, man, and of that girl brought out on Oprah.
Yep.
She was
Eating
raped
babies and
and stuff
stuff.
like that. Yeah, breeding children for sacrifice and all that stuff from Baalim and all that.
Yep, that's their culture. The Baalim god, worshiping Baalim and sacrificing their children to Moloch. They still do that to this day. And I guarantee you, not many people believe what she said on Oprah. And Oprah probably got in a lot of trouble for exposing that reality.
Well, see, Oprah she don't even believe in God, so and it's probably a plan because you like you said, we would think she would get in trouble, but they had a reason for doing what they did with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
She's like one of the most powerful. She probably is the most powerful black woman on the face of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So she can't get there by not following their rules and their agenda. I wanted to say too, with the Trans-Pacific Partnership, that goes into this thing with the North American Union, how Obama stated that the immigrants, or basically anybody coming from Mexico or Canada, could go through the immigration process after filling out an application. Within 24 hours, they can become a citizen.
Yeah.
Which isn't even long enough to do a background check. So that also goes into why I believe that Donald Trump is definitely not going to win this election, because his ideologies go against everything that the elites are trying to accomplish. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep. I heard that theory. Yep.
Say again?
I said I heard that theory.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, and I didn't care. Us to lick our own leaders. You feel me?
Say again?
I said I want to lick our own leaders over us with our own government. And so I ain't even really paying attention to the election at all. I'm just focused on getting this together.
Come on.
You want me to go ahead, start it back?
No, continue right there.
Huh?
No, you go ahead, continue right there.
All right.
I just want to conclude all those things that the Solomon's resources are all over the world in various countries, and all these big trade agreements that are being snuck through under the radar of the public, because the public generally doesn't care anyway, so it doesn't matter. And also at the same time, the one world government is ordained by the Most High Father to happen. So bucking up against the New World Order is a death wish, and you're going to die, because the Father is going to kill you if you do too much damage to the success of the one world government. Because once the one world government is intact, then the Almighty will arrive. According to Revelations 1:8, let me show you who the Almighty is. Revelation 1:8. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty. So this proves that Jesus is the Almighty. And I just use his name because it's so easy for y'all to remember that name. But his real name is Emmanuel Hamashiach of Nazareth, if you're curious and want to know deeper information. Okay. So now, where to next? I showed you where the gold was. I showed you what's happening. The TPP is causing, yeah, that's what I want to go over now. Okay. The TPP and the TTIP and all these other trade agreements, the NDAA, the NDAA, and all that other stuff that just recently happened. Okay, there's military things going on and economic things going on because there's a power shift happening where the Pope had circumvented the power of China and Jose Rizal, who had recollected the wealth of Solomon's wealth. Okay, so when he recollected all of that, the Pope and the boys they went over there and took control of it. So they worked hand in hand with the bank. Okay, so the bank, since the banks are holding the property, they basically own it. Okay, but the Pope, they eventually blocked out the Pope from getting to the gold as well. So now the bankers are the only ones who could use it if they could, but they don't have the power to because the father doesn't allow them to use it because every time they try to get somewhere, they die. If they try to use a huge chunk of it. So what I want to go to now is the conversation that I had on Twitter with one of the witches that are rallying the troops of the global forces in order to take control of the gold and attempt to use it. And then once they attempt to use it, of course, there's going to be nothing but death and destruction going on for them. But you know, they learn very slowly, and they can continue to attempt to try to circumvent the balance of Earth, which is that you have to restore Israel back to power. And see, they were seduced so long ago by the fake Israel. You see, and that's what messed everything up for them. The Zionists convinced them that they were Israel, and now they're confused. Okay, so they're trying to correct their mistake without a whole lot of attention being drawn to it. So that's why they're doing all the wars, and now they're isolating Israel and talking bad about Israel, saying they're the biggest human rights violators on earth. And that and Henry Kissinger said in 10 years Israel will no longer exist, and things like that. But I had a Twitter conversation with Karen Holiest. So we just watched her in part 5, how she was talking about the gold and everything. So I asked her, what's your spiritual title? Because the Father utilizes certain people to get this gold together and to use it wisely. So if you get it together and you don't use it wisely, then there will still be an imbalance in the earth, you know, with the weather, with human psyche, with animals, all out of whack, you know, birds dying and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So, but if you get all the gold together and use it wisely, then the earth rejoices, the ecosystem rejoices, the atmosphere rejoices, and the people rejoice. Okay, so I asked her what her spiritual title was, and of course she didn't know. So she responded by saying, that's a profound question that cannot be answered in a tweet. Now, a title is nothing but about 4 or 5 words. So she wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words that could have been answered in 4 or 5 words, because your title is just, it's nothing but about 4 or 5 words. It's like you would say something like, I am the spiritual Bathsheba, or I am the spiritual King David, I am the spiritual Solomon, I am the spiritual Moses, like that. So since she did not know her spiritual title, because has not been given one, because she's not supposed to be in control of or a gatekeeper to Solomon's gold, because she's not a relative of Solomon. Okay, so she just lucked up in the place because Jose Rizal, or whomever, trusted Wolfgang Struck to be the beneficiary of such a vast fortune, and he can't get access to it. So he wasn't. In order for you to get access to the resources, you have to be recognized by the Father, and there's no German on the face of the earth who was recognized by the Father, unless it might be 1% of Germans on earth. And I don't think he's in the 1%, because he's being blocked access to the gold and the other resources. You can't be blocked if the Father wants you to utilize his wealth. All doors will be open to you. Okay, so she can't get access to it either. Okay, so since she didn't know the answer to my question, and said that it would take longer than the tweet box to answer, I said, you want to do a Google Hangout? And she said, after the global currency reset, first things first. Okay. So, I mean, that's where we are now. And she's kind of confident that they're not going to murder everyone on earth, that they're just going to murder people who fight back from relocation and re-education camps. Okay, so the Bible wisdom trains you not to resist the devil. Don't resist. Yeah, don't resist the forces when they come at you like that. Don't resist, because you're just gonna die. So that's retarded for people to be resistant and fighting back. You should have fought beforehand, so that they can't, it didn't get this far. But it's all ordained anyway, so it really don't matter. But
okay, now I'm saying that part based on the wisdom of the barns that we talked about the other day. Remember?
Said the wisdom of the barns.
Yeah, remember say we let the wheats and tares grow up together.
Word.
Cut them down. When the reapers come, they're gonna cut the wheat and the tares down together. Then you're gonna bind up the tares to be burned, and you're gonna put the wheat in the barns. So that's what I didn't know that logic at this point, but I knew that this was a significant to happen to.
Talking about the FEMA camps is the barns.
Yeah.
Because and then you got that video I was showing you, the brothers that was rebuking Zabak, and with these brothers talking about getting guns and all that shit. Like, them niggas is like, man, the race war is for the 2/3. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess we gotta use our better judgment and wisdom.
Exactly. That's what's happening. The 2/3 are getting blown around, tossed around like by any wind that blows. So they see anything, you know what I'm saying? I mentioned that in this video too. So they see somebody get shot, and you know what I'm saying? There's over how many people? I think it's like 3,000 abortions a day, or is it like 30,000? I think it's something like 3,000 abortions. It's a lot of abortions every single day, which the cop shootings don't even compare to that. So their emotions are, emotionally linked to the overt operations of psychological warfare. See what I'm saying? They purposely promote as much as possible these public murders. You know what I'm saying? To get everybody riled up for a race war. You know what I'm saying? Which is also ordained. So,
have you seen the stickers on the mailboxes?
I mean, I heard that theory. Have you seen them in reality?
Oh yeah, we got them out here. Cause it was crazy. Cause I was working for the city and for the John City Leaf Company, and we were going. This is actually a few months before I came into the truth back in 2014. It was like just a temp job from October to December, and you know we just go around sucking up leaves or whatever with that big ass vacuum. And the guy that was my partner, he used to come over and hang out or whatever in my crib or whatever. We talked about like he was the one that got me really wanting to research like aliens and stuff because he, you know, he listened to those guys like David Icke and them other old white dudes that be philosophizing about aliens. And he got telling me about the stickers because he pointed it out to me and actually went and took one off a mailbox. They're reflective, but they're like really got a strong adhesive on the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I looked up a video and found a video of a police chief talking about the reasons for that is to classify you when these foreign troops come to kick in your door. So if you got a red sticker on your mailbox, that's basically shot on sight.
Mm-hmm.
And I think blue was something about that you need to be taken to a concentration camp for re-education.
Mm-hmm.
And then pink just means that you're docile. So you know what I mean? You buy a pink sticker, they're pretty much gonna leave alone. I've only seen it though in the bigger neighborhoods. I haven't seen any in the project mailboxes, of course. Mostly in the suburbs and stuff like that.
What's the significance of that? They're just gonna kill all the poor people instantly. So.
I have no idea, man.
They don't even need stickers. They just know what to do with you. Hey.
The bottom feeders. Get rid of the bottom feeders.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Actually, I went and because you know he got telling us about it. Me and our driver, and you know, we were all about the same age, so you know what I'm saying. I went and took one off. You know, so I've actually seen those firsthand. I've also seen yellow ones as well, I might add, and then I've seen some of different shapes, like some are circles. I've seen like different star shapes, not like pentagons, but like weird looking star shapes. And I've also seen mailboxes with multiple stickers as well.
Dang. I thought that was just a theory. Man. Anything else on that?
Oh no, I was about to say, yeah, because I would tell people about it or whatever. And this guy I worked with at Olive Garden, he was like, I might go put one of those red stickers on my neighbor's mailbox.
Yeah, that's ruthless.
Go ahead. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna run upstairs and get these kids straightened out real quick.
All right.
That's the way they decided to do it, kind of backwards. And everyone is ignoring this, probably because okay, the Father put a blindness on everyone in order for the what you call that, the prophecy to go ahead and go through like it's supposed to, which is we're supposed to go through you know, Jacob's trouble and all that, and be shifted around, you know, and go to our own place. But we're supposed to get ourselves out of this oppression. So I guess once we're piled up on top of each other, then we can speak to each other easier, and the prophecies will come out more, because right now at this moment the Israelites, most Israelites, every Israelite I ever met is only performing the law. So by not performing the prophecies and prophesying what the Bible tells people to prophesy, then the events are not falling into place. Events only take place whenever prophesy according to the Bible and what it tells you to do. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a couple verses to prove that a couple of things here. Okay, I'm going to go to Jeremiah 49. Let you read with me too. Okay. Jeremiah 49. Concerning the Ammonites. I want to read this in English. I'm sorry, man. Those these and downs get on my nerves. Okay, Jeremiah 49. Now concerning the Ammonites, this is what the Eternal has to say. Long is the history between Ammon and Israel, and many are the conflicts between them. Okay. In Jeremiah's day, Ammonite raiders have taken land originally meant for Israel, specifically the tribe of Gad. Along with other nations, the Ammonites have conspired against Babylon. After the fall of Jerusalem, the king of Ammon hires the assassin Ishmael to kill Gedaliah at a pivotal moment in the relationship between Judah and Babylon. Time and again, this proud nation defies the God of Israel and his people. They put their trust in their God, Malcolm, and they find security in the mountainous region where they live. Eternal One says, does Israel have no sons? Is there no one to inherit the land I gave her? Is that why Ammon's God Malcolm has taken the land of Gad? Why would his people be living in her cities? I, the Eternal, tell you the days are coming when you will hear the shout of war raised against Rabbah, Ammon's capital. On that day, it will be reduced to a pile of ruins. Okay? And the villages surrounding the city will be burned. Then Israel will take back what was taken from her. See that? We'll be the ones doing it. Weep, O Heshbon, for the town of Ai is destroyed. Cry out, the cities, O cities of Rabbah. Put on sackcloth and mourn your losses. Run back and forth inside your city walls, because your so-called God, Malcolm, will be carried into exile along with his priests and officials. You boast of your abundant valleys, you faithless daughter, but they are fading away. You trusted in your own wealth and thought, who could ever attack me? Is what you say. Watch, I will surround you with terror. I, the eternal Lord, commander of heavenly armies, declare this. You will be driven out of the land in single file, with no one to keep your exile together. But after this, there will come a day when I will restore the fortunes of the Ammonites So says the Eternal.
Okay, so I just want to interject here that you see clearly that the Heavenly Father requires the other nations to worship Him, but they just never do. And so, with their stupidity, they're going to be subjugated to, their station in life, death or servitude. And then you got the people who's going to be doing it is Israel. So that's why, what I'm saying, speaking the Bible, you should have no fear speaking the Bible, because you are wholly protected to say whatever you want, long as it's true. And everybody knows, all the world powers know the Bible is true.
Okay. Here now is the oracle concerning Edom, the descendants of Esau, spoken by the Eternal, commander of heavenly armies. The Eternal One says, what happened to the wise men of Teman? Has their insight failed them? Has their wisdom merely vanished into thin air? You who live in Dedan, run and hide deep in the caves, for I will bring a disaster on Esau's descendants when I come to punish him. When workers harvest the grapes, do they not leave some of the vine for those who are poor? Even when thieves enter your home in the middle of the night, do they not destroy and steal only what they need? But I will treat Esau's descendants differently. I will strip them bare, exposing their secret places, no place to hide. Their children, their families, and even their neighbors will die. And this nation will be no more. Leave your orphans to me, for I will protect them. Leave your widows as well, for they can trust me.
So that's talking about when we go out, when the Heavenly Father gives us the green light to go out and do what we're supposed to do, that you're afraid to do, then you can leave your children and wives at home. Because that's where they deserve to be, while we're on the battlefield living for them.
Hey, pause right quick. Let me read that. Okay, go back to where it says what you're talking about right now.
Using us?
Yeah.
And the villages surrounding the city will be burned. Then Israel will take back what was taken from her. See that? We'll be the ones doing it. Weak old Heshbon.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. Like I said, man, that's I just hope that I can be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? That's what we strive for. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to be one of them.
That's how I know these camps are blocking this prophecy, and blocking prophecy is satanic.
Yeah,
So,
man. They talking about cause I mean GMS is really the only ones that'll come out and say like, hey, yeah, we're gonna be destroying.
yeah.
You know, we're gonna be running around destroying people.
That's right.
Because you know, IUIC and ISUPK, especially ISUPK. I haven't really watched IUIC. I used to watch ISUPK all the time though. And what's the dude's name?
ISUPK.
Mashak Mayam.
ISUPK.
Yeah, brother
Uh,
from DC.
oh yeah.
That's his name, right? Mashak Mayam Benjamin.
That's right.
Yeah, he's always talking about we don't damn, and I don't want to say it wrong, but basically talking about we don't preach or advocate violence and all this and this and that. But they will not pull a prophecy about basically us putting our foot in the asses of these heathens. You know what I'm saying? They really do not even preach prophecy.
Yeah, yeah. They say the Lord will do it, which is absolutely correct. But they
Yeah.
just, I think they don't, simply to stay out of trouble because they're so visible.
They're that 501c3.
Yep.
That's controlling them. Hey, come on, brothers. Like, why is y'all gonna join a camp that's under the white man's control? A 501c3, IUIC and ISUPK. It just does not make sense, man. Y'all talking about because this is one thing Mashak does preach a lot is what is it? Revelations 18 and let me see. Let me pull that script right quick. See it. Yeah, Revelation 18 and 4, where it says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." If you're talking about, and he says this a lot, and a lot of the ISUPK preaches, "Come out of her, my people," and to separate from the society, separate from its wickedness, separate from the white man. But you were joining an organization that is under complete control of the white man. If you're
Organization
under
that's
501c3, and
that's
then
not
you, huh?
organization that's not allowed to prophesy. They're not allowed to say these words.
Right, you're cutting out a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
No, yeah, I said I heard what you were saying. You just your mic sounds kind of funny, but yeah, man, you don't have any the 501c3 makes ISUPK is basically a creature of the state. So whatever state they're in, they're a creature of that state, including the ISUPK in the UK. So with that being said, you have no First Amendment right. You know what I'm saying? The only rights you have are the rights that are given to you under the 501c3. You know what I'm saying? Which I think is very interesting with the Israelite doctrine because um, the way I see it, the churches under 501c3 are not allowed to preach anything um, outside of what was decided upon in the Council of Nicaea. Now, the government must have seen the Hebrew Israelites coming up and being on the streets, and they were thinking, well, we can't stop them, so we might as well, uh, let's say, gift destroyeth the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to give them a little incentive to let them keep teaching, but at the same time, they're going to be leading them astray. And you know what I mean? So, and like I was saying before, I don't know how, with all the disputes and the breakup of the UPK, how General Yohana got his dirty little hands in it, but somehow he did. And we need to get a hold of that dude, or get a hold of one of them.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah. I want to debate one of them was about election.
man, we're gonna. Hey, look, Pete, we're
Shut
gonna
down.
have to get on one of their classes, cuz
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have to get on one of their classes
We
and
know they
stream
play.
it 7 o'clock every day. I think Monday through I think it's 7 o'clock Monday through Thursday.
Oh, great, great. We're gonna do that tomorrow.
So
Automatic. If it's every day at 7, then we're gonna do that tomorrow. Automatic.
yeah, and then we'd have to probably call in um to ask questions live. But I know Tazariak, he sits there and monitors the chat box. You know what I mean? When you come into the room, they're like, oh, what's your name, city, and state? You know what I'm saying? I typed in Amaziah Howada, and he was like, he asked me again, he's like, what's your name? And I was like, Amaziah Howada. And he was like, that's your government? You know what I'm saying? So they're putting they get those names and they put them on the books because that's giving them money at the end of the fiscal year. You know what I'm saying? When they got those names that are members on those books. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's wild, man. And then at the same time they keep track because you can't get out on the street and preach without taking 90 days of their classes, and then of course you have to wear all black for 90 days. I'm sure you've seen all that.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's it on that.
yeah,
Their neighbors will die, and this nation will be no more. Leave your orphans to me, for I will protect them. Leave your widows as well, for they can trust me. This is what I, the Eternal, have to say. See? So we're going to take their orphans, orphan children, and their widows. That's going to be us. Who's going to take their orphans?
I said that wrong. You see that, right? I'm talking. This is talking about when we go out to battle, we can trust our children and wives to the protection of the Heavenly Father while they stay home. You see what I'm saying? So I got a couple of mistakes in here. Like I said, in the elections, I nominate Tazadaki to run for office. Every last leader of the schools need to step down forever. They can't run for office.
yo, you said in this video Tazadaki needs to run.
Yeah.
Comfy.
Yeah. Yeah, when I finally came to the realization that uh, elections are important, and I was like, who should be running for office? I was saying, okay, well then all the leaders of the camp, since they have all the people, you know what I'm saying, then they all the leaders of the camp should run for office.
Hey, so did you ever get to meet him or Arya?
No, I wasn't dealing with them like that. I just went to a bunch of classes, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I had noticed right away that their only purpose was to tell me that I'm an Israelite. And everything else, I know how to read. I can read the Bible for myself.
God.
Come in there and pay them all your money that I don't have, and then they annoyed with brothers love like assistants, like you know what I'm saying. They all had cars, right? I was like, man, can I get a ride to the pool? Like, you got some gas money? I said, gas money?
Oh, you would call them to ask for rides and they ask you for gas money?
I'm saying I'm at the Bible study with them. So after the Bible study, you know what I'm saying, the bus stand stopped running. So I was like, oh, can I get a ride? I said, "Good." He said, you got gas money. I said, what kind of, man, kind of fuck is that? But he didn't follow through with the request because I lived real close at that time. So he thought I was going way about 10, 15 miles away. So then once he found out I was like 2, 3, 4 blocks away, then he said, "Oh, don't worry about it." But I mean, you shouldn't have asked me that in the first place. It's only 5 people in the class. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be joining
Brotherhood.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got right now, you got a cold car. Talking about no, I'm broke. Anyway, get back to the lesson.
And children and widows. This is what I, the Eternal, have to say. If the innocent must drink of this cup of wrath, why do you think you should escape punishment? You will not escape, for you will surely drink from this cup. I swear by my own name, the Eternal, that Basra, Edom's capital, will become a wasteland, an object of horror, of scorn, and cursing. Edom's towns will forever lie in ruin. I've heard a message from the Eternal. An envoy was sent to the nations to say, assemble your troops to attack Edom. Rise up and prepare for battle. Okay. So that's what I just said earlier. They have been smearing the name of the Jewishers, the Khazarians, the Edomites. And Henry Kissinger said that Israel will be no more within 10 years. And everybody, because, they're pretty intelligent, they're wise to do.
And it just so happened he said that in 2010. So, the big prediction prophecy that we're looking forward to now is the 2019, 2020, 2020 hindsight, 2010 clarity of vision, you know what I'm saying? The 50th Jubilee. So all that coincides with each other if that prophecy is true. You know what I'm saying?
Wicked. So they've been so wicked and sneaky and subtle. They are the most subtle serpent, the most subtle beast of the field, that old serpent, that red dragon, that old devil. Okay? So they done slithered their way all over everywhere and took power from all the dumbasses because they're dumb. They don't care about the Bible. They don't do any type of commandments, so they can't see anything that's about to happen to them. So they have given their authority over to Edom. Okay, so that's what happened. And now the envoy was sent to the nations to tell them, assemble your troops to attack Edom. Rise up and prepare for battle. That's why Satan enjoys Iran, because Iran wants nuclear weapons in order to wasteland and flatten Edom, as they're supposed to do. Okay, they're going to pay too. Iran's going to pay too. But they're being used like dummies because the Father utilizes dummies just as well as he utilizes the people who willingly follow him. But they utilize dummies in order to appease their lust for destruction and death. And the Father uses dummies to kill his enemies. Well, at one time, we were his enemies. So he used dummies to almost utterly destroy us. But we were not utterly destroyed because the Father wanted to spare a remnant in this time in order to use us against the dummies and get our authority back that Adam gave to the serpent, who was now called Edom. See that? Okay. So now once we have our authority back, we'll rule righteously and justly, and there won't be any more wars. The weapons are going to be beating the plowshares. People are going to be farming and having a good time, enjoying themselves, instead of this old fake food that they feeding everybody now. That even Russia recognized, and all kinds of places have been recognizing that the fake food that they're sending all over the world is harming people. It's health. So Russia destroyed tons and tons of metric tons of food that came from the United States because people are just too stupid to see that these megalomaniacs and damn psychotic motherfuckers like Monsanto and the Monsanto family doggone are destroying the food because they just want to kill everybody. But I guess they're afraid of people who like to kill like that. You can't be afraid of serial killers and murderers and genocidal, homicidal maniacs like that. You're supposed to take them out before they do what they're doing. Big dummies. But they can't see it because they don't care nothing about the Bible. So they're just lollygagging and walking around doing the best they can, and then they don't even realize that all their thoughts are coming from the Father to do the stupid shit that they're doing for the benefit of the elect of Israel. 2/3 of Israel is dead meat. I'm not talking to you. Matter of fact, get off here. Turn the damn video off. So
Yeah, that's 99.9% of you Christians. I'm gonna name some other ones in this video.
Okay, eternal one. To Edom. Look, I will humiliate you among the nations, make you small and significant, despised by all. The terror you inspire in others and your ingrained arrogance have deceived you. You think you safe in your mountain hideaways? You hold the high ground above your enemies? You may build your fortress as high as an eagle's nest, but I can still bring you down from there. Edom will become an object of horror. All who pass by and see what I have done will shudder and grasp at all of his wounds, just as Sodom and Gomorrah. And all their neighbors were destroyed, never to rise again. I, the Eternal One, declare that no one will live there. No one will dare to make Edom their home. Like a lion that suddenly emerges from the dense undergrowth beside the Jordan to attack a flock feeding in the lush their pasture. So in an instant, I will arrive and chase the people of Edom from their land. Then I will put in place a leader of my choosing. See that? He's going to place a leader there of his choice. For who is like me and who can challenge me? What shepherd can stand against me? See, you're going to have a shepherd that's showing enough serious, that understands what he's talking about, that knows what he's doing, understands how to utilize evil for the good of the elect of Israel. 2/3 get off a page. I told you that already one time. That is why you must hear the plan that the Eternal has for Edom and what he intends to do to those who live in the city of Taman. Eternal. The little ones will be dragged away from the flock. All will scatter when the pasture is left desolate. The sound of Edom's fall will cause the earth to shake. Their anguish cry will echo to the Red Sea. Look, an eagle is rising, spreading its wings. Soon it will swoop down and attack Basra. On that day, the heart of Edom's warriors will be like the heart of a woman in labor, helpless and vulnerable. Here now is an oracle concerning Damascus. Eternal One. The towns of Hamath and Arpad are put to shame, for they have heard bad news. Doom is coming. They are distressed, troubled, and unsettled like the swirling sea. Damascus is weak and helpless. She is turned and run away. Panic grips her. Torment and pain have grabbed her, like a woman giving birth. The citizens of Damascus say, why is this glorious city, this city that gives us so much joy, not already deserted? The Eternal One says, her young men will fall in the streets and her warriors will fall silent on that day. So says the Eternal Commander of Heavenly Armies. See how he co-signs what he says to make sure you know who's talking? The Eternal One says, I will set fire to the walls of Damascus, a fire that will spread and burn up the places of Ben-Hadad. Here's an oracle from the Eternal concerning Kedar and the nomadic tribes of Arabia known as the kingdoms of Hazar, all defeated by Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. Now, I just taught you, okay, here's an oracle from the Eternal concerning Kedar and the nomadic tribes of Arabia, known as the kingdoms of Hazar, all defeated by Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. Okay, so this is to tell you that Arabia is not Edom. Now, I already told you dumb people that, but at the same time, it is Esau. It's Esau, but it's not referred to as Edom nowhere in the Bible ever. So this is the Esau Ishmaelite clan. An Arab is an Esau Ishmaelite. Okay. Who was also whitewashed to what they are today. Okay. Now, I just taught you that Satan is Nebuchadnezzar. Okay. Hopefully you remember who Satan is. He's the king of Babylon. This is the government that's on the whole earth and all that good stuff. So the Eternal One says, rise up and attack Kedar, destroy the tribes of the east. They will take away their tents and their flocks, their curtains and their camels, and all their possessions. They will shout to one another, terror is everywhere we turn! Run away quickly while there's time! Hide deep in the earth, people of us all, for Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, has schemed against you. He has a plan for your defeat. So I tell you to rise up and attack this complacent nation, which assumes it's secure, a nation without walls or gates that lives alone in the desert. Oh, man. Their camels and livestock will be the spoils of war. I will scatter to the wind these people who cut the corners of their hair and surround them with disaster on every side. So I, the Eternal, declare. So I gave him a little bit too much speaking time. Let me read that again. Eternal One, rise up and attack Kedar. Destroy the tribes of the east. They will take away their tents and their flocks, their curtains, their camels, and all their possessions. They will shout to one another, terror is everywhere we turn! Run away quickly while there's time. Hide deep in the earth, people of Azar, for Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, has schemed against you. He has a plan for your defeat.
Okay, so we already know about the DUMBs, and that's why they're called DUMBs, the deep underground military bases. They're called DUMBs because these people are dumb. So don't be afraid to call them dumb. They're going to hide themselves underground because Nebuchadnezzar, I'll show you who Nebuchadnezzar is in this video. He has a scheme against the dumb people. You know what I'm saying? So he's ready. He's ready. He's been had this plan his whole life. You think he's gonna fail? His plan is gonna fail against dumb people? I don't think so.
Nebuchadnezzar is Barack Hussein Obama. I told you this already. He is the king of Babylon, and I'm not playing. He is also Satan. He has a plan to defeat the Arabians, and these dummies have no earthly idea. Okay, so I tell you to rise up and attack this complacent nation, which assumes it is secure. A nation without walls or gates that lives alone in the desert. Their camels and livestock will be the spoils of war. I will scatter to the wind these people who cut the corners of their hair and surround them with death and disaster on every side. So I, the Eternal, declare, Hazar will become a haunt for jackals, a place of desolation for all time. Certainly no one will live there again, ever again. No one will make it its home. Here is an oracle concerning Elam. The word of the Eternal came to the prophet Jeremiah early in the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah. This is what the Eternal Commander of Heavenly Armies has to say. Eternal One, I will break the bows of Elam's archers, the very best of their military might. I will bring the four winds from the four corners of heaven to blow against Elam. The four winds are four armies from all over everywhere against Elam. I will scatter them to the four winds. Okay. And there will not be a nation where her exiles will not go. They will go off.
Okay, so we kind of noticed that, right? Have we noticed that or what? What you think? This whole migration of the people being ran out of the Arabian countries by ISIS, and they were scattered into the four winds. That happened. I think that happened after. Yeah, that happened after this reading right here. You know what I'm saying? They want a certain amount of people to go and be accepted in every country because they're being scattered to the four winds. I mean, is the Bible right or is the Bible right? That's the only choice you got. Which one?
In the backyard now.
Right in our backyard. And so that scatters their defenses because you know what I'm saying, they got them. You know what I mean, got a lot of people that's dedicated to destroying stuff, right? But it gives the other nations an opportunity to separate them so that it'll be more manageable and they can just kill them all. See what I'm saying? If they get out of hand. You feel me?
God.
Okay.
All over the world. I will shatter Elam right in front of her enemies. Before those who want her dead, I will bring disaster upon these people, for my violent anger burns against them. I will pursue them in war until they are no more. I will destroy her wicked king and officials and set the king I want on the throne over Elam. See that? See that? Israel is going to rule over the kingdom of Elam and their people, the subjects. We're going to rule the whole earth. And it's based on ruling over the bloodlines as the house, what I'm going to call it? The house of Emmanuel. You see, the house of Emmanuel Hamashiach of Nazareth. You see, the house of David, the supreme ruler of the earth. You see what I'm saying? The King of Kings. That's what we are. So we're the joint heirs with these people. So that's going to be one man ruling over all that. And then he's going to have men up under him helping to govern that particular kingdom. That's how it's going to be with every single bloodline. We're going to rule everywhere. But even so, in the latter times, the day will come when I will restore the fortunes to them. So says the Eternal. Now, just like you're going to, the fortunes of Ammonites are going to return, the fortunes of Elam going to return. Now, how is that? How can you rule over them and return their fortunes when you don't have a fortune yourself? Where's your fortune at? And it's co-signed by the Eternal. So says the Eternal. See that? See that? He ain't playing no games. So now, where are your fortune at? How are these people getting fortunes back after you done beat them to death and rule over them? Where is the fortune coming from? I've been trying to tell you where it's coming from. It's coming from Solomon's resources that he gathered over his life, inherited from David, who inherited from his people, who inherited from Obed, who inherited it from Naomi's first husband, who inherited it from Abraham, who inherited it from Isaac, who inherited it from Joseph, who inherited it from Jacob, and all the other severely wealthy people in our family.
I mean, is the Bible right or is it right? There ain't nothing but one choice. It should be hard. It should be hard to answer. You feel me? Shouldn't be hard to answer, man.
Yeah, I'm right here. All right.
That's what I'm saying. Is the Bible right or is it right? Or am I just speculating? Am I imagining these things? Or am I linking this together properly?
Nope, man, because, man, I know it's going to be hell. I know it's going to be Jacob's trouble, dude. Man, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, cuz, like, I'd be really, really, really hoping, like, that this thing hurries up and comes, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm not going to lie to you, bro. Like, I'm scared to death of, like, some of the events and stuff. But I just want to see the look on a lot of these people's faces, man. And then for not believing in this thing, you know what I mean? And I want to see, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Like, you know, I want the Lord to take revenge on our enemies, even from the smallest level. Like, okay, this is crazy, right? Because one day I was at work, right? And it was thundering and raining outside, and I was waiting on my rib to come pick me up. So I'm like, dang, she's like an hour late. So I'm like, okay, and she worked right on the next exit over. You know what I'm saying? So she was supposed to have been getting off work. I'm off work. You know what I mean? So she calls me and was like, "Hey, do you have the car?" I'm like, "Hey, how am I supposed to have it?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to walk all the way over there in all this rain. You know what I'm saying? And so, and then didn't even have no keys to it. So, come to find out, the dealership seen that I guess, you know what I'm saying, where they had seen me in the paper or something like that, you know, the busted paper and junk, had decided they were gonna repossess her car because they felt like it was a risk being around me. And mind you, nothing but white folks that work in that place. You know, that tell me that's not crazy. So, and I think the guy that did it got fired. But you know, you know, just like I said, revenge on our enemies, man, from the small scale to the large scale.
All right, man. I need some rest.
Say again, I can't hear you.
So I need some comfort and rest.
Company what?
Comfort and
Oh
rest.
yeah. Because like I said, man, like I'm honestly I'm scared to death, man. Because uh, not that I'm just like, you know what I mean, like, because I got children, you know what I'm saying, and honestly, uh, I thought this thing would have happened before I even had kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now that I got kids, it's like it's kind of a worrisome type deal. But man, I hope and pray every day that this thing will hurry up and come though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's scary, but at the same time, I hope for it.
That's right, man. That's right. As long as you keep pleasing the Father, you're gonna be protected. So just focus on keeping pleasing the Father, and you and your family gonna be well protected. He said you can trust me with your orphans and widows. You know what I'm saying? So just focus on that law and having the correct testimony of Hamashiach, and you good. Because I mean, like I said, like for example, like Mashiach had to die, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we're gonna be some type of sacrifice like that that's gonna be resurrected and then have superpowers and then clean up the mess, right? But that's one theory. So I'm saying even if we die, we still have hope of that. If that's one of our fates, because we're the ones being faithful unto death.
Time.
You know what I'm saying? I'm about to read 59.
Family on the face of the planet. That's why we can beat them down and give them back, their fortunes. Here you go. The fortune that you had originally before we beat you down. Here you go. You can have it back. Man, I mean, this is very simple. But it seems as though these people think that we don't have to do nothing but follow the law. No, you have to prophesy as well. You have to do the prophecies. Okay, so you're going to see, anyway, you're going to see. Now, Jeremiah 50. This now is the word of the Eternal spoke through his prophet Jeremiah concerning the mighty empire of Babylon and the land of the Chaldeans. Okay, now when you talk about Babylon and the Chaldeans, this is not talking about the ancient Babylon and the Chaldeans because this is Jeremiah the prophet. He's talking about a future time. You're talking about the Chaldeans, who are the Babylonians of today, who live a Babylonian mentality and behavior. Okay, thanks for knowing that. Okay. Eternal One, tell the nations of the world, announce it to them all. Who is he talking to? Let me find out right here. This is now the word of the Eternal spoken to Jeremiah. Okay. Jeremiah, he told Jeremiah to tell the nations of the world, announce it to them all, raise a flag, get their attention, tell them. Now, where's your flag? I don't see.
This was before everybody in Israel had a flag. And there was only one other flag after mine, after I created my flag. And that was this one flag that had a lion on it. But they just recently changed that flag. It's a blue flag with yellow. It's a blue and yellow flag with a lion in the center. And then they just recently changed that because I kept complaining to them over and over again. I said, why do you have a lion on your flag? I see you trying to create a flag, which is intelligent to do. You see I made a flag. So now you want to make a flag, but your flag got a big old idol sitting on the front of it. Why are you doing that? I complained to them 50 times. They finally changed it a few months ago. So they changed it to a menorah now. So that's all
It
right.
was an eye.
Huh?
It was like an eye.
Nah, it had a lion on the front. It's a light blue and yellow flag. It used to have a lion on the front.
You said an iris though.
No, a lion.
No, I mean like I thought you said you got a big iris on it.
No, I used to complain to him saying, why the fuck do you got a big ass lion on the front of your flag? An idol. I was saying an idol.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that. We'd have to go into a lesson about that, honestly, because sometimes I wonder about those kind of things because the Lord told us not to make any idols, but then He told us to build gold cherubim on top of the Ark of the Covenant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that have to.
That's what he told us to do, though.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody tell you to make no flag and put a lion on front of your flag. I say that with the flag because a flag, it tells us to raise the banner. So it says it right here, raise the banner or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It says it in other verses too. Raise the banner, and the nation's gonna be afraid of that banner. So now, when you raising a banner, you are dedicating your life to this situation. See what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? You can't dedicate your life to an idol. It's not possible. See what I'm saying? So he's telling you to raise a banner, knowing that some people might die. You know what I'm saying? But it says that we're gonna fall on the sword and not be injured. You feel me? So that's just what I'm saying. You can't have no type of idle nothing around because that's going to automatically lift a hedge of protection from above you. You got a whole idol sitting over your head that you raising like you proud of this flag. And why did you make a different flag from what I made in the first place? I was the very first person on earth to make a flag. See what I'm saying? So why didn't you just say, hey man, that's a good idea. What's up with that flag? Why didn't you just come to me and say something like that? See what I'm saying? And what gave you this idea to do this flag? Then I would have pulled the scripts on it. See what I'm saying? It's telling us to raise a flag. We didn't have no flag until recently. Well, now all the camps got flags. You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of them. So, you know what I'm saying? What are you not reading? You just read the same scripts every day in your classes? You don't never study the entire Bible or what? That's what I'm trying to understand with these people. It's madness. And they talk to me like I'm a keyboard warrior, man. I'll be doing work, bro.
No flag of Israel. All I see is idols on top of cloth. All I see is images of things on the earth, or things in the heaven, or things in the sea on top of cloth. That's not a flag. That's an idol. So a flag would not have those symbols on them whatsoever at all. Now a menorah, yeah, I mean, what is that? A tree? No, it's a candlestick. A candlestick is not in the shape of a tree. A candlestick is in the shape of the candlestick in Revelations that talks about the churches, the seven churches. Okay, and there's no Mr. Mizraimite who think you intelligent. It's not talking about chakras, not at all. We're not as dumb as you. We realize it's talking about real people doing real things, not some imaginary meditative force that you can meditate on your balls and make your balls more potent, make your sperm more potent. No, that's not what we're talking about, bro. I mean, you do have the power to do that, but that's not why the purpose of the seven churches. It's not for the seven chakras. Okay, so we're talking about seven bodies of people, seven organized people who are on one accord, seven groups of people who are on one accord within their own group. Those are the seven churches. So that's what you want. You either want that on your flag or you want nothing at all on your flag, like the Bible tells you to do. The Bible tells you how to make the banner. It says to make the banner according to the 12 tribes and put the name of the 12 tribes on each representation of them. So we have a flag like that already. Raise it up. Get their attention. Tell them. Hold nothing back. Spare not. Cry aloud. Spare not. Tell them. Babylon has fallen. Baal has been put to shame. Marduk has been shattered. Her images are disgraced. There's nothing left of Babylon's idols but broken pieces. Okay. Has this happened yet? There's idols everywhere. I can't go nowhere without looking at an idol. Okay, so this is nowhere near happened yet. Well, it's going to. The other prophecies happen, and this one's going to happen as well. But the only way it can happen is if we do it. We're the ones who do it. Israel, repentant Israel, the elect, are going to obey everything that it tells us to do in this Bible. Not you 2/3. Get out of here. I'm talking to the elect right now. Okay. Now it is Babylon's turn to be attacked from the north. Another nation will destroy her land. Now it is Babylon's turn to be attacked from the north. Another nation will destroy her land. No one will live there. Both man and beast will run away. But in those days of judgment, and when the time is right, I, the Eternal One, declare this. The people of Israel and those of Judah will come to me together with tears in their eyes, tears of joy, of course. They will come and seek the Eternal, their God. They will ask about the way back to Zion and turn toward home. Okay, so when they come together, they're not at home. They're going to come together and ask about the way back to Zion and turn toward home. They will come together and bind themselves to the Eternal in the lasting covenant that will never be forgotten. Okay, so the way back home is like, how do we get back home? We need to get back home. How do we do this? You know where it's at. We understand where the location is. We know which plane to get on to get to Zion. We're asking, how do we get back? Because we don't have the resources to get back together. The resources come from Solomon's inheritance. That's what's coming to us. Okay? So in the meantime, while you still asleep, the inheritance is being circumvented from us by the BRICS nations, the TPP agreement, the TTIP agreement. And if you resist them stealing your money, you're going to have to deal with indefinite incarceration. or quite a few bullets in your whole body or in your head and all that. So I'm just saying the reason we know the future is so that you can relax and chill the fuck out. We're not like the sleepwalkers. The sleepwalkers don't have a clue. So when the wind blows, they follow the wind. They're just little leaves and dust and stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying? They don't know nothing. So every little wind that blows, they go with the wind. Go on with the wind.
Got the brother Nasi Mitzvah with us. You want to fill him in on what we've been talking about, what's been going on?
Oh man, a dummy got shot.
Oh, I'm trying to get in here in the room. Shalom, Nas.
You said what happened?
I'm trying to get back in the room.
What happened?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what happened?
I said I was trying to get back in the room so I could see what's going on. I said shalom.
Oh, shalom, Maki.
Yes, sir. And then I see my Don Komet was in here too. Okay. All right. So you just listening for the second. Feel free to interrupt verbally anytime because I'm not paying attention to the chat.
What's going on?
This topic is how should Israelites deal with slavery, and then I already have a lesson on this it's kind of detailed a little bit, you know what I'm saying, and somewhat organized a little bit. So I ain't feel like recreating the whole lesson, so I'm just playing the video that I did on,
Oh, okay.
and then you just interrupt anytime you want to clarify anything or just add some type of conversation that you want to talk about.
Oh, I'm just listening, bro. Do your thing.
All right.
Oh, let's go outside and burn down the CVS and steal toilet paper. My people have become like lost sheep, and their shepherds have led them astray. Yeah, of course they did. We're talking about the shepherds. You know who the shepherds have been all this time. It's been the doggone, what's that boy name? Farrakhan. What's them other boys' name? Creflo Dollar and all the rest of them pastors, Christian pastors. Elijah Muhammad, Drew Ali. All these people have led you astray. You don't know it because you don't realize that you're an Israelite. If you'd have realized that you was an Israelite, you would have studied the Bible and then you would have learned these basic things that we're talking about here. Okay, now they wandered so far from my protection on mountaintops and hills that they lost their way, worshiping false idols. The asteroid in Mecca, which is Drew Ali, Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, and Wali Dad Muhammad. They worshiping a doggone meteorite in Mecca. They bow down to it. They kiss it. They worshiping it. That's Allah to them. That's extremely stupid. And it pisses the Father off. You also bow down to crosses. You bow down to white Jesus, like in Plies' new video, praying to a 3-foot giant white Jesus that don't exist. That don't exist in real life. Jesus is not white. I got fussed out by a Christian today who told me I've seen Jesus before, and he looked just like the man in Passion of Christ. Man, that was a dream. If you look exactly like the dude in the Passion of Christ, you had a dream. And it wasn't real. The Bible clearly says that Hamashiach has the body of beryl. Beryl is extremely black. It says he has the feet of bronze. That was burned in a furnace. That's extremely black. So stop playing with me talking about you seeing Jesus and he looks exactly like the dude on the Passion of Christ. Come on, man. Oh my gosh. Forgetting where I was and where they could find rest. And whoever found my lost sheep devoured them. That's what these people did. That's what the pastors did. They took all the bread. That's what the Farrakhan does. He takes all the bread. That's what Drew Ali did. He took all the bread. That's what your boy, what's your boy name? All them guys. That's all they do is just take all the.
You know, say hashtag brother Polite.
That's it on that. That's it on that.
Yeah, taking all their bread.
That's right. All right.
Time and energy to study and worship the exact wrong thing. So you have been devoured. You need to drink some coffee. I'm giving you some coffee right now. Their enemies said to themselves, "Why a word? We're not the guilty ones here. They're the ones who sinned against their God, the eternal one, their place of safety, the eternal one, the hope of their ancestors." Okay, so they got a point, but you still gonna pay. Because, you know what I'm saying, that's just what's gonna happen because you don't believe in God at all. Why ain't you worshiping the God of our ancestors? Why are you oppressing the people, his people? So don't come over here talking about you ain't guilty. You guilty. And you're gonna die. Get out of Babylon while you can. Leave behind this land of the Chaldeans. Be like the goats at the head of the flock. Lead the way home. For I am stirring up trouble against Babylon. I am bringing together the armies of great nations to attack Babylon from the north. They will draw up their battle plans and march against her. The arrows of this army will be like those of skilled marksmen. They will not miss the target or come home empty-handed. Chaldea will be plundered. All her conquerors shall have their fill in the land's wealth. This is what the Eternal declares. He co-signed. See? See how that works? The Eternal One to Babylon. Because of your treatment of my people Israel, because you rejoice and celebrate as you plunder my heritage Israel, because you dance about like a heifer roaming the grassland and neigh like a stallion as you plunder them, Israel, your homeland will be put to shame. She who gave you life will be disgraced. She will become the least of all nations, nothing but a patch of wilderness, a dry and dusty patch of land, a barren desert. Because of my anger, no one will live there. She will be a desolate wasteland. All who pass by Babylon and see what I, the Eternal, have done will shudder and gasp at her many deep wounds. To Babylon's enemies, go ahead and prepare for battle. Take your positions. Surround Babylon on every side, all you archers. Shoot at her. Show no mercy. Spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Eternal. Shout your battle cries on every side. She has already given up. Her towers have fallen. Her walls have crumbled. Since this is my vengeance, the justice of the Eternal, do not hold back. Take vengeance on her. Do to her what she's done to others. Uproot from Babylon those who plant crops and those who harvest with the sickle. You see that? You see what's going to happen to your boy, what's that dude name? Let me see what's going to happen to the farmers. Put it like that. Farmers are still sitting here. Now, you really think you're going to survive these boys' arrows? They just said they're not going to miss. You said they're not going to come home empty-handed. Okay. What's that boy name? have to die, the farmer. Uproot from Babylon those who plant crops and those who harvest with the sickle. When they see the flash from the enemy sword, everyone will run away. Everyone will go back to his homeland, his own land. Okay, this is Israel. Hell of a ride. Okay, so see, it's a balance in the timing that when you have to make that move though, because the Father's gonna bless you with the money to go. Because right now you don't got no money, and you trying to go there too early because you done. It ain't time to go back yet. Whenever you get some money, then we're gonna go back. We're gonna gather together, ask how to get back home, get the money, and then go back home. That's the order. That's all the Father deals with is proper order. Israel is like a frightened flock scattered by the lions who hunt them. The first to attack and devour them was the king of Assyria. And the last to chew on their remains was Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. Okay, so that's who we're under now. That's the last one to chew on us. Okay, because certainly the original Nebuchadnezzar wasn't the last one to chew on us if you have any type of brains in your head. So we're talking about, all right, anyway. For this reason, I, the eternal commander of heavenly armies and God of Israel, whose God is it? Why does anybody else think it's their God? You're confusing yourself. You're wasting your time. Promise this. Just as I punished the king of Assyria for the way he treated you, so will I punish the king of Babylon of his land. But you, Israel, I will bring back to your own pasture. Once again, you will graze in the lush fields of Carmel and Bashan. Your hunger will be no more. You will fill yourself on the hills of Ephraim and Gilead. And in those days when the time is right, see that? When the time, see that actually right? See that? You see that? You see that? Let me make this real big for you, because I don't think you understand what I'm saying here. I think you're still confused a little bit. Are you confused? Are you confused? That's my question. Do you see this? And in those days when the time is right, you can't go individually because you got had a good slave job and bought you a ticket over there. You have to gather together.
Hey, pause. That's that GOCC every man for himself type jank.
Every man for himself.
Actually, I was
guns, and if you think you tough, you better stay here. Man,
now.
it's called a second Exodus for a reason. It's not called a second individual Exodus. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I did notice today when I was reading Jeremiah that he tells us to get out of there, but that was our own nation. We weren't in captivity yet.
Exactly.
They basically telling them to flee before this other nation came to slaughter us and put us in captivity.
Yeah.
But of course, you know how many people listen.
Mm-hmm.
But that does not apply to Egypt. That does not apply to Babylon or any of the others. It definitely don't apply to America. Look how many Israelites. How many Israelites do we got in the troop?
They could flee on foot, on camels and all that, and their their donkeys and whatever, their transportation. They had, you know what I'm saying, animal transportation, right? So they didn't have to be rich or poor or anything. They could just leave and go and get out of there anytime they chose.
Right.
We need doggone powerful transportations that can take us, maybe if we want to go on land and maybe go to Mexico or Canada or something like that. You still need plenty of money, and you need a mode of transportation to get there.
Shoot, if I start walking to Mexico, the tribulation will probably be here before I get there. Great tribulation.
I
Oh,
mean, how much a train and all that stuff costs? You might be able to do something like that. Get a community together, bam, hop on a train to Canada or Mexico. Canada's too cold for me. I can't do cold.
shit. And
Mexico's too hot.
they trying to link up with the U.S. So neither of them places gonna work.
Yeah, they're gonna surround this place on every side and not spare one arrow. And they don't even know that they're doing they're fulfilling prophecy.
And they're gonna be persecuting us all over. So I don't know how they think they're safe in Africa.
True, man.
Because there's Israelites in Africa. They're gonna be persecuting us all over. It's just like how I was talking to you about Togawa Ieyasu killing off Christians
Mm-hmm.
in Japan. You know what I'm saying? So and now we're starting to see that there's Israelites all over the world. So you know what I mean? This ain't about really like about the other nations. This is the time of Jacob's trouble and testing us through the fire.
Uh-huh.
Where the hell are you trying to run to? You might as well try to live under the ocean.
Honestly.
If you're even safe there. Cause the waters ain't gonna be safe.
Yeah, it's people trying to figure out the scenarios on that with them Denver murals so they can get down to them underground bases. And they're called what are they called?
The dumbs.
Deep underground military bases. Dumb. So these are for dummies. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just wild. People don't. That come from not caring about the Bible. You done fell into the propaganda that the Bible was written by a white man last year, and so it can't be true. You know what I'm saying? And Israel was invented 300 years ago, and all that madness they be talking about. Is that it on that? That's all you got? Okay, back to the list.
Once you gather together in proper form, with your friends is on, and all that good stuff, you got your bells and your pomegranates on, you got the flag up high, you're gonna tell the nations at the UN, give me the money. They're gonna give you enough money to get home. Then they're gonna hog the rest of the money, and then the Father's gonna destroy all of them and give us the money. It's very clear. It's clear. If the Bible reads very clear, it don't sound confusing to me. I thank the Father for giving me these type of ears so I can hear what it's saying. And in those days when the time is right, not just whenever you feel like going and leaving everybody else for dead, talking about fuck anybody who's broke, they just gonna have to fend for themselves, right? Wrong. I mean, I done told you that Israel is gonna be kibbles and bits before we can go back home, man. Oh man. But he promises this. Now, if anyone searches for even a trace of Israel's wrongdoings, they'll find nothing. If they look for the sins of Judah, none will be found, because I will have forgiven this remnant of my people. You see that? Now, how is that even possible? All of us have records. All the men have felonies. All the men have misdemeanors. Hell, some of the women got felonies and misdemeanors. So when you see this, it means that whenever we come together in our proper form, in our proper gear, in our proper actions, and how we got our government together and then, appointed a leader over ourselves and this, that, and the third, right? We're going to go in front of the nation, the United Nations, and we're going to tell them we are mature. We got to act together. We're going to accuse the nations of 2,700 years of oppression in extreme detail, complete with testimonies and video and all that stuff. They can't deny it. That means that all of our sins are going to be wiped away in their minds. We're going to be given presidential pardons all over the world. Sins are forgiven. Now, don't forget that you live in a governmental structure. Okay, so the same way that we live in a satanic governmental structure, we're going to be a government, a holy government, a nation of kings and priests. And we're going to have a government, and people are going to be prepared in their positions to rule certain places. We're going to already figure out who's going to rule the Edomites. We're already going to figure out who's going to rule the Ammonites by the time this happens. You have to come together and talk, but it has to have a discussion. A dialogue has to happen in order for these things to take place. And people have to be strict on the law. But they also have to perform the rest of these prophecies here. Okay, now to Babylon's enemies. Go up and attack the land of Marathon and those who lived in Pekod. Slay all of them. Completely destroy them. Now, don't disobey like our ancestors did and leave people alive. Try not to do that this time, okay? This is the Babylon's enemies. Go. Oh, so he's not talking to Israel. Okay, he's talking to Babylon's enemies. Okay, go up and attack the land of Marathon and those who live in Pekod. Okay, I got to find out where those places are. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know where these are. Slay them all. Completely destroy them. Do everything I, the Eternal One, have commanded you. The sounds of war can be heard in the land. Anguish cries of great destruction. That hammer who pounded the nations of the earth now lies broken and pounded into pieces herself. Okay, now the hammer is that stupid ass hammer that they got in the courtroom that they fashioned after the Thor hammer. That's the type of law that they use, is the Thor law and Odin law. They think they're as God. No, the Israelites are as God. You want to be everybody on earth, especially the Israelites. You are no people. You're nothing. That's why I'm speaking so boldly against you, because there's nothing that can happen that you can do to me, because the Father protects those who are obedient to him, and I ain't doing nothing but telling you and prophesying exactly what is going to happen based on the Father, reading it straight directly out the Bible. So I don't get scared. You know what I'm saying? The Father, I'm only afraid that you make sure the Father don't kill me. Okay, nations of the earth lies in the peak and pounded into pieces herself. Mighty Babylon, how have you become a horror to the watching world? I set a trap for you, O Babylon, and you fell for it. Before you realized what had happened, you were discovered and captured because you dared to fight against the Eternal. Who's the Eternal? The joint heirs. You were fighting against the Israelites, the apple of his eye. What would make you think you can get away with such a thing? It doesn't. Your part of what you were supposed to do to punish us is over. The time is already up. You passed. You're about to come up to the time that you can no longer have possession over us. But up until the last second, you're just gonna keep beating us down. You're retarded. You better listen to Karen Hudez and stop trying to kill everybody on earth, especially Israelites. You know who we are already. Don't stop acting like you don't. Yes, the Eternal has opened his armory, unleashed the weapons of his wrath. For the Eternal Lord, commander of heavenly armies, plural. So not just Israel, but anything he chooses, any people he chooses to use as an army, he does it. He uses it. Is at work in the land of the Chaldeans. come against her from far away and on every side, break upon her storehouses, crush her cities, and leave her dead in piles, like so much grain. They're not going to be buried. They're just going to be left dead on the street. Destroy her completely. Let nothing survive. Let her young bulls die by the sword. Let them all be slaughtered. Woe to each of them, for their day of punishment has come. Hear the clamor of refugees and fugitives, fresh from the land of Babylon. Okay, so that's, could be, you got all these different peoples from all over the world live here and live, in Europe. So that's Babylon and Australia and, the BRICS and everywhere else. So that's what Babylon is. It's wherever they have set up their rulership over the people of Israel. So they're going to be refugees from all over the world and fugitives. So that's what they are. They arrive in Zion to announce how the eternal our God has paid Babylon back for what she did to his people and his temple. See that? The refugees and fugitives are going to go to our homeland and tell us, oh, Babylon's been destroyed. We know. We watch the news. We're much smarter than you. You're telling us something we already know. Call up the archers to attack Babylon. Surround her on all sides so no one can escape. Repay her for her horrible deeds. Do to her what she has done to others, because she has proudly defied the Eternal, the Holy One of Israel. The Eternal declares that her young men will fall in the streets, and all her soldiers will fall silent on that day. The Eternal One says, see, I am against you, O private one. Talking about Babylon. I, the Eternal Lord, Commander of heavenly armies, declare that your time has come. I will now punish you for all you've done. In your pride, you will stumble and fall, and no one will help you up. I will set fire to your cities and towns, and it will devour everything around you. This is what the Eternal Commander of heavenly armies says about Israel. The Eternal One says about Israel, the people of Israel are oppressed. We are oppressed. So to the people of Judah, so also are the people of Judah oppressed. All those who took them captive continue to hold them, refuse to let them go. That's what they do. But their Redeemer is strong. The Eternal Commander of heavenly armies is his name. He will take their side and defend their cause, and he will give them rest in their own land. But he will shake the earth beneath the citizens of Babylon. You see that? Because when the Yellowstone National Park blows sky high, it's going to be the lake of fire. There ain't going to be nothing left of this place. So we're going to gather together and leave when the time is right. He promises. The Eternal One says, I will send a sword against the Chaldeans, against the citizens of Babylon herself, against her leaders and wise men. I will send a sword against her diviners. They will be exposed as fools. A fool in his heart says there is no God. They're going to be exposed as atheists. Atheists is going to be exposed. You already exposed yourself in your pride and arrogance. I will send a sword against her mighty warriors. They will be paralyzed with terror. I will send a sword against her war horses and chariots. See, these ain't horses, animals. These aren't old, rickety-wheeled chariots. These are modern weapons. See that? I know you got to be able to see that at least. And all the foreign troops fighting alongside her, they will all become weak like women. I will send a sword against her treasures. They will all be plundered. I will send a drought against her, water supplies. They will all dry up, because this is a land filled with images. These are idols. See that? This land, that's what I say, everywhere I go, all I see is idols. Get them out of here. And the people are madly devoted to their idols. The flag, the American flag is an idol. You see these people picking up their guns, trying to kill black people for trying to put down these stupid ass idols. And we tell them you got idols up everywhere and we tired of looking at them. That's why you about to die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. That's all it is to it. So the beasts of the desert will roam this land. Jackals and ostriches will make it their homes. Now, I'm gonna come over here and hunt me some jackals and ostriches sometimes. That sounds fun. But never again will it be home to people. From generation to generation, no one will live there. As God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah and all of their neighbors, so does the Eternal declare that no one will live in the land of Babylon. No one will make his home there. Who wants to live here? It's going to be nothing. It's going to be utterly wasted. The Eternal One says, look in the distance and you will see an army marching toward you out of the north. A nation of many kings whose size and might you can't imagine is now awakening and coming from the remote parts of the earth. That's I told you about this way back in December of 2014. I already told you about it. If you don't remember, I'll remind you. But it's you got all these nations. Mainly, it's what it is the revival of the Ottoman, the Caliphate, the Ottoman Empire. Okay, so when the Roman Empire revitalized, they kind of took over the earth and oppressed their partner, who was all the Arab nations in the Ottoman Empire. So the Ottoman Empire has revived and revigorated itself, including China and Russia. They're also mostly Islamic. So the army is going to be so vast you can't even imagine. Okay. Now they're armed with bows and spears. We're not talking about it. What you thinking? We're talking about some modern weapons. Okay. Their hearts are cruel and will show you no mercy. The sound of their massive army riding in on their horses is like the sound of an angry sea. They are ready for battle, marching in formation, coming to destroy you, O daughter of Babylon. The king of Babylon has received the news about them, and his hands fall to his side, weak and helpless. Distress has gripped them so, like a woman in the agony of giving birth. See that? Who's the king of Babylon? I just told you it's Nebuchadnezzar. Who's Nebuchadnezzar? I just told you it's Barack Hussein Obama. Who's Barack Hussein Obama? I just told you his name is Satan. Who's Satan? I just told you. I've seen Satan as if he was lightning that fall from heaven. That's Barack Obama's name. You don't speak Hebrew, neither do I, but I know that much. Like a lion that suddenly emerges from the dense undergrowth beside the Jordan to attack a flock feeding in the lush pasture. So in an instant, I will arrive and chase Babylon from her land. Then I will put in place a leader of my choosing. He's not going to choose a leader from the caliphate to rule over Babylon. First of all, ain't nobody even going to be living here. He's talking about the survivors of these dead people that's already dead right now, walking around like zombies. The survivors are going to be ruled by a leader of his choosing. For me, for who is like me and who can challenge me? What shepherd can stand against me? He's talking about the leader from Israel, man. We're going to be ruling the Babylonians, the Elamites, and the Ammonites, and every other bloodline. That's why you must hear the plan that the Eternal has for Babylon and what he intends to do to those who live in the land of the Chaldeans. The little ones will be dragged away from the flock. He will leave their pasture desolate. The sound of Babylon falling will cause the earth to shake. Her cry will echo among the nations. See that? That's what I try to tell you people. But you don't want to listen. It's all good though. Somebody gonna wake you up sooner or later. It's either gonna be the guns and the bombs, the daggone nuclear missiles, or it's gonna be doggone when them boys kick in your door and take your family out your house, and they're gonna line them up in your front yard and shoot you all in the back of the head real hard. Now, if you look at this here, Hosea 1:11, the people of Judah and the people of Israel will return from exile and gather together as one nation. You see what that said? The people of Judah and the people of Israel, those are two separate nations that are now one nation. Okay? They're one stick. There were one nation that separated into two nations and now come back as one nation. Oh, man. Will return from exile and gather together as one nation again. See? They were not one nation before, and now they're going to be one nation again. And they'll agree on only one leader for all of them. Okay, so you're not my leader. That's why I be trying to tell you, General Yohana. That's why I be trying to tell you, Elder Ricard. That's why I be trying to tell you, Elder Tahan. That's why I be trying to tell you, to Tazadaki. See what I'm saying? That's why I be trying to tell you, Bishop Eddie Long. What's that dude's name? Hold on. Elder Nathaniel. You know what I'm saying? I be trying to tell you people, you're not my leader. So stop asking me to join your groups. You got to go through an election process where the people of Israel are going to appoint a leader over us. You can't make yourself leader and tell me that you're the only camp that's going to survive, because you don't even know what to do to survive. All you're going to do is fight. You don't even know how to deal with these prophecies that I'm laying out here. You got to go to the United Nations all together. You got to tell them what the business is. You got to accuse them so that they recuse us. And doggone give us presidential pardons and enough money to get home. They're going to try to hog the rest of the money, and then they're going to be destroyed. That's common sense. You can't go to Israel by yourself and leave everybody else here to die. That don't make any sense. So, Elder Ricard, you need to get on the first plane back to the United States right now. You need to get here together. We need to gather together in the Day of Atonement and talk to the people like we need to talk to them. Stop playing games. And they'll agree on one leader, on only one leader for all of them. Every awakened Israelite has many different leaders with many different camps. IUIG got a leader. Every camp has a leader. But we're going to agree on one leader over all of them. I nominate Kazadaki.
I take that back. I was just hyped and said I nominate Tazadaki, but all the leaders of the camps need to step down, and they can't run for office for leading everybody astray unless they repent, come together and say, you know what, the Bible is true, the Bible is right. The people have to choose a leader over them. You know what I'm saying? If they do that, then I'll consider whomever I think is the best leader at that time.
That's my nominee. Now, it will be a great day when they go up from the land of Jezreel is a reality. The land of retribution. Okay. It will be a great day when they go up from the land of Jezreel is a reality. Go up from the land and their recompense and retribution is a reality. They left Jezreel in there for no reason, basically. Okay, so now I want to talk about Matthew. I want you to get a little clarity on this stuff so that you won't be sitting there twiddling your thumbs talking about the Father is going to come to your house personally, over your house, and pick you up yourself, you only. Or you're going to buy a plane ticket, go over there to Telluride, get DNA tested, and they're going to compare your DNA to white Jewishers. It's not going to match up, and then they're going to say, you can't come into the country. Or you're going to have to be isolated over here and be treated like shit until Israel blows up. You're dumb. Do it the right, in order, in the right way. You can't skip around. You can't go from, okay, in the beginning, we created Adam. In the end, you're home. And close up the book of Revelation. It don't work that way, bro. You got to do the words that's in the book. That's why the atheists and stuff try so hard to fight against us to not do the words that's in the book because they know they're fake. See what I'm saying? They think it's all fantasy, but the puppet masters who put that thought in their head know that it's real because they know they're fake. It's over for them. So the only way to prevent their fate is to convince every Israelite on earth that they're not Israelites and don't listen to the book and burn the book and forget about the book, don't do the book, don't perform the acts, don't do the book at all. So we can live and continue to oppress you. You can continue to be our slave, please. It does not work that way. I apologize, don't work that way. Matthew 9:37. Jesus understood what an awesome task was before him. So he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You ain't having that.
Man, something just threw me for a loop for the night, man.
What?
I can't talk about it on video.
All right, just remember. We almost done in a few anyway. Probably about 20 minutes.
I'm honestly puzzled and confused right now, though.
Okay. We're gonna talk about it in detail for about 20 minutes. But if you got any more interruptions, just let me know. Shout out.
Nah, I probably won't, man.
Okay.
That's what it is. You sitting there listening to me instead of reading the book and doing the words that's in the book. And I gotta sit here and yell at you and convince you that this is true. And that you got to do everything that's in the book. You need to read the prophets over and over and over and over and over. And you need to read the prophets over and over. You need to read the prophets over and over and over and over and over again until you figure out what to do. Because when the Father tells us to do something, you need to hurry up and do it. The time is getting short. Okay. Well, let me go up here to Obadiah, since you don't believe me. Since you don't believe me, maybe you'll believe the book. And I know plenty of Israelites who don't believe the book whatsoever. They just go by their own imaginations of God and say, well, I'm the man, I know God because I just do whatever I want to do. And it's working out for me, so forget everybody else. No, man, it's a community. You got to you got to serve. We got to be better than them in every way. Obadiah 10 through 14 through 15. Because of your violent history against your brother Jacob, shame will envelop you, and your nation will be destroyed forever. You just stood there doing nothing while strangers ransacked their city. See, that's what I'm just trying to tell you, right? They just stood there doing nothing while strangers ransacked their city. Now, dummies don't realize that Idumea is the Greek word for Edom. So Edomites was all up and through Israel during the time of Hamashiach and during the time of the Roman invasion. And they just stood there doing nothing while strangers ransacked the city. Now I made that clear. While invaders rushed through the gates and divided up Jerusalem for themselves. You might as well have been one of them. You should never have gloated over your brother's tragedy that day or been secretly happy about all their misfortune. You should never have celebrated the people of Judah's decimation. You should never have acted so arrogantly on that day, on the day they suffered so much. You should never have walked through the city gates of my people on the day of this disaster. You should never have gloated at their difficulties on the day of this disaster. You should never have taken advantage of them and their wealth on the day of this disaster. You should never have lain in wait along the crossroads to cut off those trying to escape. You should never have handed over the handful of survivors to Babylonian captivity on the day of their great distress. I done told you people. The day of the eternal judgment for all the nations is near. Whatever evil you have done will be done to you. Your deeds will come crashing back on your head. And who's going to do that? I'm going to show you right now. Calm down. You're so impatient. The Father's going to do that. It says it right here. But on Mount Zion will be a place of safety. Some will escape to that holy mountain, and the people of Jacob will conquer. 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 And possess those who conquered and disposed them. Dispossess them. Do you understand that? I don't think you pay attention very closely. Let me run it back for you. You don't seem to get it. I'm making it painfully clear that Israel has to do things other than keep the law. You have to also do the prophecies. You have to act out the prophecies. You have to do them. You have to prepare slaughter. You got to prepare slaughter for the iniquities of their fathers. Because of your violent history against your brother Jacob, because of that, the people of Jacob will conquer and possess those who conquered and dispossess them. When the last time you conquered somebody? Tell me. Go ahead. I'll wait. You ain't never did it. Stop lying. I know you're trying to think of a lie right now. I'm going to show you something else. Since you don't believe me, maybe you'll believe the Bible. You might. I doubt it, but you're going to have to do these things. If you don't do them, it ain't going to work for you. It ain't going to work too good for you. Now, Jeremiah 51, 5 and 6. For Israel and Judah have not been forsaken by their God, the Eternal One, commander of heavenly armies. Even though their land is awash with the guilt of their sins against the Holy One of Israel. Get out of Babylon. Escape with your lives. Do not be caught up in Babylon's punishment. For this is the time of the Eternal to avenge his people. He will pay Babylon what she deserves. See that? That don't make sense to you? Okay. Let me look at this other one then, since that don't make no sense to you. Okay. Since you don't realize you're supposed to come together on Atonement Day, on the Day of Atonement, and decide and then accuse the nations so they can give us presidential pardons so we can get the hell out of Dodge and give us our money, just enough money to get home, so that the other countries can come in here and destroy everything, including the sleep 2/3 zombie sleepwalking dumbass black people. That's why GMS say, "I'm gonna kill your black mamas, I'm gonna kill your black babies," and stuff like that. They're not gonna be doing nothing. The motherfucking armies that's surrounding Babylon is gonna be the ones killing them. You ain't smart enough to figure this stuff out. Jeremiah 51:8. But now Babylon, cup of God's wrath, has fallen and shattered. Weep for her, if you can. Give her something for her pain. Perhaps she may still be healed. Okay, so because we're not like them. So we're going to still, try to give them, even though you're being destroyed, here, let me help you out. So we're going to be, trying to doggone, be like nurses for them while they're being pure killed. And they're going to die. Jeremiah 51:19-20. The portion of Jacob is not like any of these. He was not fashioned by human hands. Instead, it was he who made all things and appointed Israel to inherit it all. His name is the Eternal, Commander of heavenly armies. The Eternal One says, "You are my war club, my weapon for battle. With you I shatter nations. With you I destroy kingdoms." So, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You're not going to be fighting that Israelite because you're not smart enough to do so, because a nation divided is going to fall. So the dumbass sleep Israelites like the fruit of Islam that's going to be fighting against America alongside of ISIS and the whole caliphate of the Middle East Caliphate and the Arabian Caliphate and China and Russia come over here and destroy the fruit of Islam. Gonna be sitting right there with them, destroying too, and they're gonna be happy about it. That's cool, okay, that's fine, that's great. But at the same time, you ain't doing nothing. You wasting your time because you gonna die too. Okay, so I think that might be a good place to stop. Alrighty. I just wanted to make it clear, where the gold is, and that we have to claim it. We have to come together and express the allegations we have for the kingdoms. Because you're talking to the tail. That's all you're doing, is talking to the tail. The tail is much, much more powerful than the head. You got people everywhere in the United States and Great Britain and all over the world, you know what I'm saying? You steady talking to some dumbass dude over here, can't do a damn thing. He can't do shit. That's why it says that the kings and queens will be your nursing mothers and nursing fathers. Because the kings and queens are the ones who we're going to accuse. We're going to get in their faces and accuse them to their face. But we got to gather together first, accuse them to their face. They exonerate us from all the psychological problems we have in this country, which causes us to be criminals and things like that, and destitute and poor. And we're going to get enough money to go back home. The ships of Tarshish, who are the ships of Spain, are going to come pick us up and take us over there. We're already in the wilderness, dick face. This is the wilderness. Let me show you that, because I know you don't believe, you don't never believe nothing I say. Oh man. I know I'm lying, but I'm not the one lying because it's the Bible that you think is lying. Okay, so let me look it up in blue letter first. Wait. It's very simple information. But you know, you rather deal with the magician who's the leader of your camp. That's what you rather do. Deal with hypnosis and magic and allow people to ridicule their own brothers and stuff like that right here. Yeah, well, that's what I did too, but they are being wicked by telling you to stay dumb instead of performing the prophecies. Okay, let me see, what am I looking up here? Wings. Okie dokie. Okay, and to the woman who is Israel, were given two wings of a great eagle. The eagle has landed, so we know who the eagle is. The eagle is the doggone Babylon, the whole Babylonian system. Okay, so we were given two wings of a great eagle that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. So let Elder Dumbass, Bishop, what's his name? Bishop Nathan keep telling you that you're getting nourished by the face of the serpent. The face of the serpent is nourishing you. No, you went into the wilderness to be nourished away from the face of the serpent, who is the papacy. Big face. Okay. All right now, so we're in the wilderness now. All right. That's the end of this section because you people ain't gonna listen to nothing I say anyway. But I really enjoyed teaching that, and maybe one person will team up with me. All right, so my name is Nazir Devah Emil O's Yasharal. You call me Devah Emil O's.
Okay, that's the end of that. Let's see what we got here. Okay, you want me to drop this and talk about whatever it is you was talking about?
Yeah.
All right, all right. All right, you've been watching Claim Your Inheritance, the world's holiest government. Hopefully that representation of episode 7 was edifying. I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, the wonderful Son, and the Holy Spirit, and give it to my co-host to sign out. Can't hear you.
All right, I'd like to give all praise to you, how about Shemi, how Shai, and Barak out to the family out there.
All right, shalom.